nerds, this is Pam coming to you from Stationery Nerd. Today we're going to look at the Scribbles That Matter dotted notebook, and I'm going to tell you about how I use it. Alright, let's get into it. Okay, so there's a bazillion reviews of this journal out on the YouTube land, so I'm not going to belabor too many of the features. You already know them. This is actually one of the original Scribbles because it's got the skull on it, and you know that this is one of the original because they had removed the skull and now there's a cute little hedgehog there. So I've had this for over a year, and you can see that there are, I'm actually using it, so there are icons on the front and the back. There are two different versions of the journal. You get the iconic version, which is the one with the icons, or you can get the pro version, which does not have any icons on the front and just has a small sampling of icons along the bottom, but everything else is just plain. And so when you look at the difference between the pro and the iconic, they're exactly the same except for the fact that icons are on one and not on the other. So I'm using my Scribbles That Matter as my travel journal, and we're going to do a quick flip through on this, but first let's take a look at some of the specs just so that you've got that information. There is a pocket in the back, and the gusset on there is a fabric, and that fabric ribbon material does match the color of the elastic and the pen loop and one of the bookmarks. And again, on the inside we do have the icons, both in the front and not in the, only in the back, not in the front. And then this is the old way that the pen loop was attached. It was attached by, let me zoom in here for you. It was attached by sandwiching the pen elastic between the cover and that back cover piece. And they were having problems, and actually you can see that I am having problems with the pen loop coming unattached and falling out. I know that this is an issue, so I've been pretty gentle with mine so that it doesn't fall out. But right now what they're doing is it is attached with a rivet on the back. So it's actually attached with a piece of hardware so that that no longer is a problem with the newer versions of the Scribbles. Now it does come in a lot of colors, and I have on my list, and let's actually just look at my list here. So this is the spreadsheet that has all of the information about all of the journals that I have reviewed, and you can download this at stationarynerd.com/journals. And I paid $19.99 for this journal, and let's see how many colors it says. So I don't actually make a note, but I know that there are a lot, around 8 to 10. However, what they have done within the last year, they have made the decision to only carry 6 colors at a time. And it has to do with the price that it costs to warehouse inventory at the Amazon warehouse. So those 6 colors are available at any one time, but over the course of a year or when new shipments come in, they will change up those colors. So there's colors like the purple and the pink and the blue and the periwinkle, and then gray and black, and I think there's a red one and a white one. So lots of options besides this aqua, which is their signature flagship color. And then the paper on here is kind of in the white family, so let's just compare this to how it looks with the Leuchtturm. And you can see that the Leuchtturm is actually very much more yellow than the Scribbles, and then here we can just compare that with a piece of white printer paper so that you can see the difference in those three. The dots in the Scribbles are a little bit darker than that in the Leuchtturm, and the dots are, let me see, where did I put my ruler? The dots on here are 5mm. Just verify that. Yep, 5mm. And I'm pretty sure that I have counted dots at some point back here. Maybe not. I'm not going to count dots for you, but I'll just put them right here afterward, like while Jack walks through the screen. Okay, let's take a look at the pen test. Oh, you know what? Before that, let's take a look at the way that this is constructed. I'm going to, there's stuff in here, so I may have covered stuff up, I don't know. So the inside front cover, I'm assuming that was blank. There is a place here to write your name, and apparently I did start this in April last year. I think this is index pages, or I don't know. Apparently I just glued some paper in here, and the idea was that I was going to keep track of the vacations that I went on and just make a list, so an inventory there. You do have a key and an index page, and you've got multiple index pages. So, and then you go straight into the dotted pages. We're going to do a flip through in a minute, so hold on. All right, and then the back pocket, and then on the last page you have a pen test, which is two-sided. They say in the description that the pen test page that there are 2 of them. Technically there's 1 because you don't write on the back side of your pen test page. Alright, and I didn't even use the pen test page to do my pen test. How many times can you say pen test in the course of 1 minute? Okay, so we are going to take a look at the pens that I've used, and geez, I can't even grab them. Okay, so we have a couple of Sharpie highlighters. These are the liquid accent highlighters. I grabbed these because they are kind of wet and juicy. And then I grabbed a variety of black pens. So we've got fine liners, we've got a Sharpie, we've got Pilot G2, we've got one of those Pilot Varsity disposable fountain pens, and various fine liners, Papermate, all of that. I'll list all those for you below. Alright, so let's take a look at the paper. There's a slight coating on this paper, so it helps to prevent ink from bleeding through or feathering. And I don't really see anything in here that is a problem. I don't see any feathering at all. Maybe a tiny bit, like right there on Pilot, but you can hardly see that. And let's take a look on the other side. So you can see a little bit of ghosting here. Oops. You can see a little bit, but it's actually pretty good. So we're just going to zoom in here a little bit and see how we did. And I don't see anything at all that is bleeding through, although that Bic really wanted to, but it didn't do it. So the ghosting test is really good, and it definitely passes the Stationery Nerd test. So this is 100 GSM paper. And as I said, I am using this as a travel journal. And the way that I am, the concept is that when I go on a trip, I like to take a journal with me, and then also pack my HP Sprocket, little pocket printer, and print photos as I go, and write a little bit about each day of my vacation. So that's kind of what I am doing with this. So I went on a trip. I actually went on a cruise in 2017 out of Fort Lauderdale. I needed to get a passport, and then here we are planning, and then this is the first day of the cruise, and you can see I just taped a... Jack has come to visit, but I think he's just going to lay there. Alright, so you can see I just took pictures and posted, or like taped them into the center. And then I also taped in a map, and then more journaling, more pictures, more journaling, more pictures. And see, I actually tipped these in so that I could use the entire page to journal. And again here, so that's kind of like, I had a super awesome time on this trip. Jack is wanting to get close. We're just going to push him off to the side, and maybe he will not disturb us. All right, and so you can see that this is my system, and then apparently I skipped a page. I probably was wanting to do a reflection page. Oh, maybe I just missed that day. And then this is glued in. I went to Stratford, Ohio, and stayed at that hotel and wrote nothing else. This was a trip to Ludington, which is on the west side of Michigan. There's a little flower and a feather. I taped it in. This is a printout of a picture I took. This is clipped out of the travel guide. Same thing there, so I knew exactly where I stayed. Then I also wrote my meals. So the problem with this is that I don't travel enough. And also, when I do travel or take a little day trip, I tend to forget to take this with me, or I just enjoy the vacation while I'm on the vacation and don't update that. So I really need to do a better job with that. In fact, I just went away for a day trip to the beach 2 weeks ago, and I didn't write anything in here, even though I took a bunch of pictures. So I think I'm going to try to do a little bit better job tracking the travel that I do and doing some memory keeping in this travel journal. And keep me accountable, ask me about it in a couple of months, and I'll do another flip through and let you know how I'm doing with keeping that up. That's all I've got for you for now. Let me know what which scribbles you have, or which one you're looking at, what color attracts you the most. And then also, what size are you looking at? Because now they've got a variety of sizes. The A4 has been discontinued, but they do still have the A5 and the A6. And then they've got the B5 bullet planner, as well as a B5 and a B6 journal. So let me know what you've got, and leave me a comment. Let's start a chat down in the comments. Subscribe, hit the bell, all the things. Until next time, guys, I will see you later. Bye.